Hello, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. You have a destiny portal in February of 2026. It's opening up the possibility of a major relocation or change of home, as well as a huge amount of energy in love, romance, creativity, and fertility, bringing superior blessings and even luck. It's the kind of luck where some of you might win some money, but on top of that, you might feel like you just won something in the game of life. Things are moving your way. And that song, Everything's Coming Up Roses for You and for Me, it's got that kind of a vibe with a little rainbow and unicorns in there tossed into the mix. I like to tell you, we all do have a lot of twists and turns that are unexpected. There are 4 twisty turning points of unexpected developments in the month ahead for every single person. We'll talk about where that hits you in your chart. So welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome so much. I'm glad to have you here. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac, whole sign houses, and fixed stars come into my mix quite often, where a traditional astrology approach uses whole sign houses. And if you're listening today for your sun, moon, or rising, I want you to know that sun sign is your career and purpose, and it's a true you. It's a spark of your spirit, the refraction of the divine light. Your divine light spark sun is not your ego, and it plays a role in life called your ascendant. That's your game avatar in a video game. That's the role in the movie, right? That the actor plays. The sun is the real you. The role you play is your rising sign, right? So that's how you want to see that. But your rising sign, by listening for your rising sign today, is very specifically accurate to circumstantial changes in the life of the character in the movie. Okay. So there you go. Plot points, twists and turns, first act reversals. Here we go. Finally, your moon is how you think and feel about life. I think I feel this way and that way. However, it's also your home, your nest, your domicile, where you live. So think about all 3 as useful ways to listen to astrology on any channel, not just mine. And let's get going. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to share with you the picture of the sky. So in order to do that, I need to go into share mode and totally not overwhelm you with a messy desktop. This is the sky here. This is the sign of Scorpio at the 9 a.m. position. If you're listening to me online ever and I'm in a live premiere and you go, where are we? What sign are we on? Look to the symbol of Scorpio on the 9 a.m. position. And that's what we're talking about. So, Scorpios, it is literally a big deal to have the energetic eclipse portal open a door in your 4th house. And we're going to dive into that as we get to the middle of the month in our forecast, but it only happens every 18 years. So I don't mean you're just going to change your home a bit. There could be a pretty radical relocation experiment going on starting in the middle of this month. So we'll talk about that as we get there. In the meantime, as the month begins and before we get to February, we're at the end of January, you'll notice you've been dealing with a stellium that really got intensified on the 23rd of January when Mars added his mix to this planetary lineup, not seen in such a way similar to the same time of year in 1994, January, February. So this is taking us back in time a bit. And you might go back and say, oh yeah, 1994, what was I doing that put so much weight on 4th house matters, home, domicile, where you live, domestic and private life, things going on in the home, family of origin, relationship to your parents, on and on we go. It's been pretty consuming of you in the last half of February and now in January. And as we move through February, by the time we get to midway to the end of the month, it's beginning to fall away. It's loosening its grip on you down here. Okay. Now, you could already have made decisions you want to move under this weight, right? Before we ever get to February's eclipse on the 17th, you're in the pre-window of the February 17th eclipse in your 4th house. And you might already know or be planning or ruminating or trying to decide or machinating on a move. All right, just so you know. My Scorpio rising sun in 1994, and just indeed he did move from Washington, D.C. to Annapolis, Maryland, coming off the decision of his parents. So energetically, there's a lot going on. Now, as we move into the month ahead, and the month we're talking about is February, The first thing, and we're doing a week by week breakdown. Oh my goodness, I forgot to tell you. If you want to time your best year of 2026, my All Signs Bundle and individual videos are still for sale. I extended the December sale price, 2.5-hour videos outlining your year ahead and a PDF guidebook for the whole year. Go check it out below. And I'm teaching an intermediate astrology class in probably March or April, 4 weeks long, live coaching calls with me. It's a live class. If you want to join me on Divine Timing Masterclass for advanced astrology timing tools, intermediate to advanced, don't come in as a beginner. All right, because you'll be lost. I welcome you in the class. All right, back to you, Scorpio. I apologize. I forgot my promo. Well, the moon is full in Leo as we begin the beginning of the February 1st, right? There's going to be a big full moon right at the top of the sky. It's going to light up your 10th house of career, reputation, social standing, visible actions in the world, purpose-ishness. And a full moon is a full flashlight of fulfillment. And you maybe planted a seed back here in like late July or sometime in August, summer behind us of 25, of what you want to accomplish, achieve, or direct yourself towards in your career. And now a full moon is going to try to bring the fruit of that wish or desire or that intention, but also quite possibly can be completion. So there's some part of your career path that you know is coming to an end. You're ready to let it go. It's time to move on. And in, the 2 weeks from the full moon, February 1st, add 2 weeks, you might see evidence for that completion of a career direction. But the moon categorically also can represent changes in your home as well. And with a pile up in the 4th house, there may be some announcements to the world that you're moving, or you might be changing your home life because of a career opportunity or direction that's going to have you relocate somewhere else. And by the time we get to the middle of the month, by the time we get to the 14th of February, that could even look like a rental property opportunity to rent a new home or to lease out your current home and maybe change where you live as you rent your own property to someone else. All of those are possible by the middle of the month, let alone the eclipse. Okay, sometimes a full moon is like a bright spotlight of intense worldly energy, and you could get a raise or a promotion or an uplift here. That's another activation that may occur in the 2 weeks that follow February 1st, moon time story. When we talk about February the 4th, Uranus will be heading into direct motion, and Uranus in direct motion is like a ship turning on the sea. It's not a big pivot. It's slow moving. However, you have to remember that Uranus going direct after being in your marriage house, long-term love house, since 2018, you've lived through the worst of it. This could have been like breakups, ups and downs, shocking developments and twists and turns, marriage sabbaticals, polyamory, weird shit going on in long-term love. It could also be have been a time of shock and debilitation, like in terms of how marriage, love relationships maybe got tower moments going through them, right? Surprises, shocks, and disabling of love. It also could have been how you approach your audience, marketplace, and clients. And this is digital stuff, the online world, cutting edge technology might have been a big part of the people and the places and the things that you were interacting with, your public, your audience, your clients. And this is completing, right? And on the 4th of February, it kind of leaves the grounds of, eventually gets ready to leave on the 26th of April, your 7th house. As it goes direct, you'll know direct motion, what direction you want to go in when it comes to romance, love, fertility, and children, because he's got a tag team with Saturn. And you'll feel a sense of freedom from whatever the ups and downs have been in the last, 8 years, since 2018. And you're going to be feeling like you're letting go of whatever that thing was. If you're in the online world, social media landscape, there could be a viral hit or some breakthrough in your online social media world and things you've been up to there, with Venus, with Saturn ruling your 3rd house in the sextile to Uranus. So you could have some social media viral moments in your creative, artistic, or, muse-driven or entrepreneurial endeavors, if that's your cup of tea. Now, on February the 5th, Mercury will square Uranus. This is the first of 4 surprises this month brings you, okay? Mercury always wants to talk about, here's an email, phone call, text. Here's some information or some news for you to consider. Here's an idea. And he's in the fourth house of home alone and your private life, but also just land, property, real estate. When he's down here, he often represents conversations about where you want to live or negotiations and contracts about where you could live. He rules your house of banks and mortgages. So you might want to refinance. You might be looking at getting pre-approval for a mortgage. Those kinds of things can happen with him down here, or even looking at finding an agent to list or sell your property. And these kinds of energies have been going on as Mercury has been moving through this part of your chart for quite a while. Okay. So, I mean, Mercury will be here until February 6th. He was here for 3 weeks before the month began, almost 3 weeks. So, you might already be thinking these things. And until February 6th, it's not a bad idea to list a property for sale or try to buy a property or secure an agent or all of those things to do with property. Okay. It would be an auspicious opportunity at this time. Venus is bonifying him, and you can get a great mortgage. You can get a great agent. You can list your property, maybe even get an early and fast, swift moving offer on the one you want to buy. Things could go well by making the offer. These are things to consider until February 6th. The surprise is on February 5th. Someone wants to buy your house at a price you couldn't believe. Your offer is accepted. News and information about coming from someone you live with connected to chunks of money. This can include inheritances with Sun, Mars, and Pluto. Unexpected information, you're going to receive an inheritance, for example, as another option on February and in around February the 6th. Now, the other thing I want you to pay attention to, if you are wanting to do that, is that on February the 7th, 6th, 7th, Mercury crosses a sign boundary into Pisces. And get this, guys, he's going to be hanging there until February 15th. You can't make this stuff up. February 15th, April 15th. So from February 7th, until the 15th, 6th, 7th, till the 15th of April, you're going to have Mercury in the 5th house with the North Node. Now, this is very lucky, especially through until between the 7th to the 14th for good money luck, especially regarding winning money. So yes, buy some tickets. So this is also good news energy, good fortune energy regarding fertility and children and romantic love. This is also where he's going to spend a lot of time, because of retrogradation, changing his mind, making you rethink things. Don't be surprised if you are going to hear from lovers from the past, from about, February 26th to March 20th. So there's a lot going on there. If you're an artist, a creative, if you listen to the muse is shouting at you. You're in a high creativity, high fertility, high entrepreneurial success vibration with Mercury North Node energy. And Mercury can translate that to international or far off distant shores success, chunks of money. It can look really good on your finances through creativity, art, and entrepreneurship, as well as receiving exceedingly large gains from the sale of a property and being very surprised by how much money you're going to get by selling land, for example, or a home or something like that. Now, we're talking about the 7th to the 14th. We're on week 2, right? Week by week, blow by blow. In week 2, Venus squares Uranus on February the 8th, 9th. Now, Venus squaring Uranus is like Mercury did on the 5th, 6th. So here we go again. Venus is a benefic planet, positive. Uranus is in her territory, bowing to her desires. And she's giving him a shove and an elbow and saying, what the fuck? And let's get moving on, whatever this is, in a positive way. It's still 4th house energies. Is it something to do with wanting a contractual agreement regarding land, property, and real estate and have it work out perfectly? Is it something you're doing artistically or creatively at home that you want to push into the world and have it go viral? And these are things that could occur and surprise you around the 8th and 9th of the month, 7th, 8th, and 9th of the month, 7th, 8th, and 9th of the month. And it could be some unexpected surprises coming from your significant long-term love partner if you live with them. Okay, if you live with them. Now, what we want to also know is that Venus definitely has capacity here to give you opportunities to be unexpectedly taking a journey with your significant other to a distant shore or land, or she could transfer that to, as I said, information from your partner that surprises or shocks you. These are kind of cool stories that might unfold here. Moving into Venus's transition to Pisces, she's following Mercury's lead and chasing his ass. And there they go. Now she will enter into Pisces around February. It's actually closer to February the 10th, right? I just trust me on that. On February 10th, she enters into Pisces. She'll be hanging here with Mercury, who doesn't leave until April 15th, but she doesn't stay forever. She stays here until March the 6th. So February 10th to March the 6th, she's bonifying your 5th house. This is so good for romantic love. If you're with someone, you're more affectionate, you're more romantic, you're having more fun together, there's more fun in bed. If you are somebody looking for love, she's exalted with a node of fate. And Mercury says information communications, go on dates, meet somebody, be willing to take a chance. Dating apps work, so do local dates and local dating scenarios. You might just spontaneously meet a destined partner because you're doing something fun. You're hanging out in the social area of the neighborhood, the community you live in. Saturn says that's where you could meet somebody. Any relationships that form or begin under this auspicious energy of the 5th house for single Scorpios will go the distance. Saturn bakes in longevity. It's particularly auspicious between the 10th of February and the 14th of February to go on a date that will bake in lasting and powerful and destined and positive and fortunate love that surprises you. And the person could be outside the box, completely different than anyone you've ever dated before, thanks to Uranus. And so how exciting is that? If this Venus placement can win you a lottery ticket, she'll do her damnedest. Okay. So that's going to be true all the way through until February 10th to March 6th. Know your limit, play within it, but you could win money. And it's just a good vibe. Your music, your art, your creativity, your acting, your performance, your creative arts, your muse are going to succeed with worldly success extensions of the North Node. All right, now we're going to talk next about February the 11th and 12th. And that's when Mercury and the North Node combine forces. It's destined, fated news, ideas, or information. Certainly, if you're an artist, like the muse could give you a song or a musical idea or a painting or a creative story writing idea that's going to have destined built-in success. Follow the muse, follow the muse, follow the muse between about the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th of the month. Okay, because it's golden ticket for success, especially flowing to Jupiter, saying good for book publishing, international success from creative artistic stuff. Listen to the muse. You could get a book publishing deal or contract under this. You could get a record label contract if they still do that shit. You know, you're going to move up on the world of creativity equals success at international. You could get news that you're going to be a parent or a grandparent coming off of Mercury, Venus, North Node. All right, coming through the sky as well. Now, on the 13th, 14th, Uranus is going to cross the sign boundary of your 5th house into your 6th house. Saturn has been in your 5th house since March of 23. Like, love is hard, creativity is hard. I work hard with my art and creativity. My muse and I are on the taskmaster's whip. Getting pregnant is hard. Fun is hard. My children are gnarly. Okay, that's my children bring me hardship. Parenting is hard. Okay, that's all going. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Now Saturn is here. Saturn says, okay, we're going to hang out together for 3 years until April of 28. We're going to be in the house of work. Sorry about that, because you'll work really hard. But we're also going to be in the house of debts and health challenges, and also pets and rentals. Long-term rental opportunities can be secured here that will bring a long-term success in terms of how long you want to stay, not just short-term. So you can secure at least a 3-year rental opportunity coming through your sky, beginning on the 13th, 14th of February. You might know, though, that this is going to indicate 3 years of hard work, and you last felt this energy moving through your sky in 1996. So that would have been going back, Saturn in your 6th house. Let me just remind myself, April of 96 to February of 99. Were you working hard? Did you secure a long-term rental? Did you have an older pet in the household? Did you get a rescue animal? Were you renting a property? Did I say that? Did you secure a way to pay off debts in a steadfast, reliable way over time? Pay off your credit cards, pay off your debts. Be serious about payments of debts. Now that's back again. So get ready for it until 2028. This is the beginning of something new. But when he first enters here and the very beginning of this ingress, it's possible that around the 13th, 14th of the month, you might be able to solidify some plans regarding the themes of the 6th house that I've outlined, and you'll be more serious and disciplined about your health over the course of this next 3 years. Okay, moving on to the week of I heard a spirit in my ear, and I'm not talking to dead people today. So, oh well. So now we're going to talk about the next story, and it's literally going to be between the 14th and the 21st, 22nd of the month that we're covering right now. On the 15th and 16th or so, 14th, 15th, and 16th, that time frame, Venus will square Uranus. Venus and Uranus square is a positive surprise, but it's very intense and maybe it requires and demands actions and decisions, right? So you'll begin to feel this energy. Am I in the right place? So sorry, did I say Venus square? We covered that on February the 8th. Yeah, sorry. I hope I did. On February 8th, yeah. What am I doing? Oh my God. What I wanted to talk about is this right here. On the 16th, the sun will square. The sun will square Uranus. Well, Uranus square the sun is a demanding of your attention to your career and your reputation. All right. And yet the sun is debilitated in the fourth house here. So there is something about the career and reputation in the workspace, unexpected surprises or developments that demand decisions and actions taken in your private and home life, maybe in discussions with those you live with, or maybe a really big decision has to be taken and a big turning point of unexpected developments connected to where you live, vis-a-vis where you work or the career path that you're on. Also, father figures, death and illness, shock and surprises. That's what I got for you. Now, on 16th and 17th of the month, I will tell you that you could have good news, prosperous news, abundant news, lucky opportunities. The lucky opportunities are coming from Jupiter in your 9th house to Mercury in your 5th house. Grandchildren, children, fertility, childbirth, creative projects, international success, artistic developments, awards and rewards, book publishing contracts and deals. Your children getting accepted to their favorite and most desired university or college. Your children having children. It's all in there. It's very positive energy, okay? So you're going to hear that good news, good information coming through on February 16th, 15th, 16th, 17th. And then on the 17th, we have the Destiny Portal eclipse opening a door for you. And the doorway is opening here in your 4th house. Haven't seen that since 2008-9, 89 to 91. What were you up to? Did you move? What was going on in that 4th house for you back then as eclipses were moving through the 4th house? My son, the Scorpio rising, was an infant, 89 to 91. And yes, his mom and dad moved. And he had to move with us too, just like his mom and dad moved, like the poor kid around for other reasons. So yeah, moving. 2008, 2009, his mom and dad sold that family house in a divorce and my kid had to move. So you can see this is probably going to move you, because I'm using my Scorpio rising sun as an example. Scorpio, suns, it could be more career related, but moving is still here. Scorpio moon moving for sure. So moves. The eclipse is opening up a door at 28 degrees of Aquarius. It will happen on the 17th. This eclipse is with Mars, who loves to cut, end, and sever, home, move, change your home. I conceivably some of you might be constructing a new home, building a home with Mars and Saturn's line up here, hiring laborers to build you a home, architects, structure a new home, the beginning of a change of home because of building a home. That could happen. But there's also just a desire for, it looks like a relocation that wants to come off that eclipse. Now, the eclipse is on February the 17th. You've been feeling it playing out for 6 weeks beforehand. So it's not a surprise, is it? And it's going to be playing out for the next 6 months in terms of tangible results, although it can unfold over almost a year. And so you're definitely looking at a change of where you live. My son, bless his soul, is pregnant with his wife. They're probably going to want to move to a new home. Just maybe, I don't know, different neighborhood, a better place, closer to a daycare center. I have no idea. Okay, now the other energy going on with this eclipse, right, that makes it different than ever before is Pluto. So it can be a massive and transformational change of location, bigger and more intense and more meaningful and more oomph than ever. And Saturn is the ruler of the eclipse, and he's in the house of rental properties. Some of you may just choose not to buy, but rather to rent, for example, or rent the current home out and move somewhere else. Let's continue. We'll be doing an eclipse video. So like and subscribe. See if that doesn't make you a part of my channel, because that is an important eclipse for you. And you'll learn more about it, including the asteroids involved, on a special eclipse video. On the 22nd of the month, there is a rainbow and unicorn story. And I'm so happy to share this. Venus, bless her soul, is already on the day of the eclipse with the North Node. And that simply means something really powerful and lucky is trying to happen. And I'm not going to describe the fifth house again. Romance, love, fertility, children, grandchildren, winning lottery tickets, creative, artistic, and entrepreneurial success, kaboom, worldly success too, increased, destined, fated things. But then she continues to move forward. And what she does as she moves into her forward direction, trines Jupiter, exalted Jupiter, right? He's in super powered condition, and Venus. Now, you'll start to feel it building as early as about the 20th. It's exact on the 22nd. It wanes after that. This looks to me like a glorious mini trine. Don't look at the kite. That's just the ascendant. But this energy here, I'm going to try to draw it just for the sake of it. Okay. Venus, right? Get Venus in. This little triangle is lucky. It's called a mini grand trine. Brings up luck and opportunity. The moon's exalted. Jupiter's exalted. Venus is exalted. It's in the house of good fortune, in a very lucky ninth house energies. It's in alignment with purpose, coming through significant long-term committed love, maybe coming through a contract or a deal, business deal, exhilarating and surprising, or connected to people entering your life who are exalted lunar figures. What is an exalted lunar figure? Well, the moon is a ruler of international book publishing, spiritual community. I don't know what this is. It's just very lucky. All this is exalted. If you're single, then new love could come because you're in a spiritual community, academic setting, or you're traveling internationally to a place you've been before. And you could fall madly in love with exactly the right person. Now, an exalted moon here, moon represents the house of grandchildren for you and childbirth. So there's very positive developments in both of those directions for all Scorpio rising, especially, and sun and moon secondarily. Now, as we continue the month and we move forward, we're going to talk about the difficult part of the month. That's Mars squaring Uranus, surprising you. Last time we had a square, it was the sun. And that was, I talked about that already. That was on the 15th, 16th. And before that, squaring Uranus was Venus on the 8th of February. And 5th of February, it was Mercury. So we have surprises and twists and turns that you weren't anticipating. But Mars is doing the twisting and turning. And he is in a mood, squaring Uranus, building up on the 23rd, exact around the 26th. So look for some critical turning point, 26th, 27th of the month, decision making, action taking, choice point that must be made with a kind of gritty urgency about where you live, whom you live with, and what you do in and from your home. I don't know what it'll be. When push comes to shove, there's something you need to decide here. Maybe in concert with your significant long-term love partner, but there's urgency and there's an unexpected tower-like vibe around it that must be noted. Certainly, you could have a shattering argument with somebody you live with or with a significant long-term love partner. So be careful for a blistering fight. February 26th to the 28th. February 25th to the 28th. On February 26th, Mercury will head retrograde. He'll be retrograding in Pisces through to March the 20th. This is where you're going to hear from old lovers from the past, former romantic partners, estranged children. This is where you're going to rethink, revise your artistic, creative, and entrepreneurial projects. This is where you're going to go backwards on something that you've been doing in the creative field and revise, rethink, and revision. That's basically usually what that is. And you're going to go back and talk about things to do with love, children, romance, and grandchildren that you've already discussed, but you have to go back and talk about it all again. Finally, your children will have conversations with you that they've had with you over and over again, and you're going to go back and have them again. Now, on your North Node solar energy here that's happening on the 27th. Exactly, building up a day or two before. There could be a golden lucky career opportunity wanting to show up for you. Okay. So golden, fortunate, lucky career, destined opportunity, but it's even more so if something about your career involves your creative or artistic or entrepreneurial impulse, but that's a possibility for you. Or you might be getting ready to announce to the world that you've fallen madly in love with somebody and you guys are the thing. That could be a public announcement because of Mercury here. Well, we shall see what that is. Because even so, Mercury and Venus then collide, and these two are going to come into each other's arms, like in a movie when people are running towards each other with open arms across a field. And trust me on that, it happens on the 28th. Oh, I went all the way to March. What am I doing? Happens on the 28th or so. So Venus and Mercury will combine forces around the 27th, 28th in a conjunction. Good news, lucky news. This could be the lottery win. Yes, it could. This could be, honey, we're pregnant. This could be, you're going to be a grandparent. This could be getting that book publishing deal or creative project. And with Jupiter and Moon in your 9th house on the 27th, this is great for international success as an artist, book publishing deals, chances to travel abroad connected to romance and love, meeting a romantic partner, falling madly in love because you're traveling. It's just good vibes, just good vibes. To use it, just receive it. Because Mercury is retrograding as of the 22nd, some of this is also connected to seeds you planted in the past. It could now fruit in all of these amazing, lucky ways. All right, that's what I've got for you. Grandchildren are coming in, or children. These are fated, destined children. Even that eclipse in the 4th house activates the house of children. Some of you may want to move closer to your children, have your children move in with you, have children or have grandchildren connected to where you live, and moves are connected to children and grandchildren, pregnancy and fertility. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. If I'm talking about world politics unencumbered from demonetization risks, and shadow banning and deplatforming, it's over on Substack on my weekly write-ups about world astrology. If you want to connect with me there, it's free. If you want to come over to my Patreon community, I teach classes. I love that community. We do live Zoom calls together. It's more intimate. You're in a smaller group setting with me. Check out my Patreon. Join my join button here. I do live streams here as well as I give you content on learning that is put here on the members community, and then secondarily, then later on added to the all tier section. The lowest member as well as the biggest members of Patreon get this content too. But there's a special place for my members here. You get it first, and then I send it over to Patreon a few days or a week later. But you also get live streams with me here, which I do not do on Patreon. But I do live Zoom calls. That's a different thing. Do I sound like an octopus with too many tentacles? I think so. Ciao, guys. Bye-bye.